In this section, I'm moderating with Mary Mbigua, and our first speaker is going to be Ora Peleng. Is Ora Peleng already with us? Yes. As he is coming, let me remind ourselves of the words that were spoken by Barack Obama, the former president of the United States of America. He said that every generation has an opportunity to remake the world. And I believe as the next generation of critical thinkers, let us change this current world to make it a better place. And we can do that through cooperatives. Now, without wasting your time, let me give this opportunity to Ora Peleng. Ora Peleng, it's your time now.
Thank you, Doctor. Hello, everyone. In Botswana, we say Dumelang, so I believe from here you will always use that phrase. My name is Naritsile Ora Peleng, and it's very hard to pronounce to almost everyone, even my associates. But Ora Peleng means praise God. So Naritsile is mostly, a buffalo in Botswana is called Nari. So the same name translates to the buffalo has come. So here is it now. So let's get going. I'm a cooperative practitioner, or so I love to say. Just to simply introduce myself, I'm a young scholar as well, and I'm an AfriCorp board member in charge of youth affairs in the whole of Africa. I'm one of the founding members of Boleswa Youth Federation. Boleswa is mostly Botswana, Lesotho, and Eswatini tripartite. That's where the youth cooperatives across the SADC, that's where we meet and try to curb the challenges that we have as young cooperators in our country. So I act as the Secretary General of that movement. Last but not least, I'm the Secretary General and the founding member of our Youth Apex body in Botswana. We call it the Botswana Youth Cooperative Alliance. So why did I get into cooperatives? I don't know yet, but I believe it's because I wanted money. I remember before I was a cooperator, I was just an unemployed graduate, always carrying around envelope with my CVs and going back to my college asking for references, until one day I noticed that I'll never get a job. I thought as a software engineer, I'll get. When we do career development in our schools, you'll notice that this is you got the mostly what they say is innovation or technology is the in-fee. So when I did software engineering, I was very sure that I'm going to be an IT. But look where I am now. I'm a farmer. But actually, that's a good thing, because there was at one point I noticed that I really have to stop job searching and try to create something for myself. Professor gave us a good example of that. We call it corporateurship. So I'm a corporateurship, and what I'm gonna say is just a testimony of all that. So one day when I was just looking for countries where I should try get a job at, I noticed a word called cooperative. It was around 2016, so I just Googled what is a cooperative, so, and what does it take to make one. And funny enough, in Botswana, we usually have cooperatives, but they are not registered. You will see it's just us people working together. Even my grandmother can call the ladies around, and they will go to the farm and assist her in picking up the beans or the maize. So I called my friends. Mostly all of us we are graduates but very unemployed. So we just said, how about we came up with an idea that all of us here, we have the farms, or our mothers have the farms. So what can we do with them? I remember at one point we said, okay, let's utilize what we have. And every one of us took a notepad and we noted everything that we have. A laptop, a phone, a farm, or just an old car. And we came up with an idea and we called it Masterminds. Why Masterminds? Because at that time we believed we were at the top of the world. We believed we were the masters. But funny enough, the pockets spoke otherwise. So what did we do? Personally, I registered a cooperative and I just took their copies because we wanted something legal and official. At the beginning, we have around 21 members. All my friends, your ITs, your accountants, your graphic designers and marketing students. But you'll notice without the money, the numbers usually decrease. So we went looking for startup capital for some experience in what we wanted to do. And we settled on horticulture, a high risk, high reward kind of projects. In Botswana, if we have a small portion or a farm, then you have, because we are around 2 million in our country. And the 2 million people, I can have a piece of my cake wherever I am. So I just said, okay, let's move and let's see what we can do with the horticulture. But along the line, we said, let's have a value chain of all the agribusiness in our farm. So because of lack of resources, we had a Jojo tank. And in a Jojo tank, we had some few Mozambican tilapias, around 10 of them. Because if you have fish, they infuse the nitrogen in the water. So, and we use that water for irrigation. And after 3 weeks, we noticed that we needed something that the fish will eat. So we built a small poultry house on top of the reservoir. I just wish my slide was on. I could be showing you pictures because it's just pictures on the slide, but since it's in my head, I guess you get the picture, guys. So after that, we infuse a little bit of poultry, and the droppings of the poultry will get into the water. And we call that chicken manure as well. So if you have the water and you have the fish, and we have a small plantation, then you'll have tomatoes as big as my head. So, and we noticed that we did have a good life, nice problems, because all the time our produce was 2 weeks to be ready. They will be consumed, or people will pre-book, will be given a lot of money just for, even a supermarket will come to us and say, we want around 10 tons of tomato and green pepper, and we can pay you up front. So all the produce that you have, just bring it to us. And at one point, that was very good, until what we call Mother Nature came. There will be your frost, there will be your heavy rains. So imagine you have taken almost 10,000 USD from a supermarket, and you have taken your girlfriend out, you got a good, nice iPhone, and then eventually a frost came and all the produce is gone. And you need to return the money or find a way as soon as possible. So at that point, we sold almost all our assets, even our shoes, just everything to try and get some produce. Until finally, since we're the only youth cooperative in Botswana that we're still intact after 3 years, we got funding. So since then, Mother Nature has been shining on us, and I was around, in 2019, before COVID, I was just 45 kg, but now you can see I've doubled that weight. And especially that's because of a worker cooperative. I wanted to share more of how we work, the model and the challenges. I'm a founding chairperson, and I'm also the CEO of my cooperative. Then I have my friends who gets other roles in the cooperative. And it's very hard, I tell you, to have a friend as a secretary or as a treasurer who is not doing his job. You are neighbors, you are friends from high school, and after a good production, there's no money in the account, and you need to talk man to man. The first question you will get, my friend, you know I had trouble with that, I'll sort you out. But that's not a family business, because we are around 10, so if we are around 10, we actually became a family. But the mismanagement and the funds were not as we wanted them to be. Issue of governance and group dynamics, because if I have a degree and my friend there has a master's degree, if I try to reason, I say, no, just relax. I know what I'm talking about. Leave that to me. I can do the strategy. So imagine if you have 10 brains in your office, and those 10 brains are both the workers and the members. They are the owners of that. Alone you can't. You need people with the right mindset. You need people with the exact drive. As the pioneer of the cooperative, you will say, I want us to go there, but you will have different mindsets that want to go another route. And there is issue of religion as well. You will see when we were about to harvest, then we'll take a short prayer, we're just thanking God for the good harvests. And then one of the members will come with a sangoma. We call him a sangoma or a traditional doctor. Your member and a good management, say a secretary, and will be doing wonders with his with his mood, or I don't know. I believe you get me. We are all Africans. Yeah, so you will have someone in your cooperative. He's a religious person as well. You are praying and he wants to come with a doctor. So things like that is very hard to just say, no, let's be just Christians, because we didn't have that in the bylaws. We are just members, we are working together, and we are getting the benefits together. And the good thing that we have as a cooperative, as friends as well, is that we are given, each of us have terms of references and a sector to really drive and be the custodian of that. And at one point, you'll notice that we had to regulate the monthly incomes. All of us, we have equal incomes, irregardless of how much our department is better than. You'll see we'll have a treasury office. I will give one of the members a part of being in the treasury board, managing our accounts and record keeping, and I'll be the operations manager. But all of us is getting 250 USD as a monthly stipend. Oh yeah. So one of the things that we will have is that some of us will feel, since I'm doing more than you are doing, guys, so I should get a little bit of pay rise. But leveling the payment is actually better, because if you are on a level and you get the equal amounts and you same dividends, you will notice that you will have a happy family at the end of the day. I believe I'm done, guys. If you need anything, just call the doctor here. He will answer, because he knows almost everything about Mastermind. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ora Peleng, and thank you, colleagues, for giving him the attention. His is a very good testimony, testifying that indeed youth can do it, and cooperatives can help us to create decent work. You know, it is not about just work. As long as you are working, Now he's bringing in the concept of decent work. Cooperatives can give us decent work. Before I can open the floor for questions, I just want our mentor, Professor Muhammad Maye, to just comment. Can you give him the mic? We just want the words of wisdom from Professor Maye. Where is the mic?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Really, thank you very much. I see that it is very short, but it has it's a wisdom within that process of experience. In Botswana and any other countries is the same. The youth in Africa is mostly similar culture. It's not, until very far each other. So I think what our brother is saying is that yes, you can have it, actually diploma, certificate, PhD, all that things, but that's not what actually bringing for your success. You have to be very creative, so you have to go out of the box, create, because whenever you see things are not working in very traditional way, graduation is straight away to a good job, sometimes it may not happen. So what the words that he is trying to convey to the others is that you have to be also creative, get your teams, let it will be different. Same thing that we were talking in terms of the entrepreneurship. That means you have something, but also you need the other person's what that person. If you are in low degree student, at least you need another person from the IT, another person from the economic development, and that will be a good team. When you get a project, when you apply, they will look all these CVs and the bio and profiles of the people who are involved in that one, and definitely it may, actually you may get a good contract. You can start cleaning business sometimes, because you may not have very big IT companies in the country, or maybe in the village or in the area that you are. You can start even, actually in terms of that. So I do appreciate that, at least his wisdom that he's sharing with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Let me open the floor for questions or any comments. Okay, thank you. Now we are moving on to an interview with one of the cooperatives, Kigro Recyclers. So the guys from Kigro, can you come up front? So Mary Mbigua will help us with that interview. May we give them the mics? Because of our time constraints, I'm going to give them only 15 minutes. So 15 minutes maximum. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you've been told, I'm Mary Mbugwa, and I will be conducting the interview with Kigro Recyclers. Before we begin, I'd just like the two of them to just introduce themselves.
Good afternoon once again. My name is Rogers Rombe. I'm the chairman for Kigro Recyclers Wakra Cooperative, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all of you. My name is Alexander Karaoke, and I'm the treasurer for Kigro Recyclers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So to start us off, maybe just tell us something more about Kigro. What do you do? When were you formed? How is your board? Just to get a basic understanding of who Kigro are.
Okay, thank you. Kigro Recyclers is a worker-owned cooperative based in Nairobi, Langata. Our offices are here in Langata, Mugumoini, along Kitengela Road. And we mainly focus on waste management, and that is garbage collection and recycling. We formed in 2016 as an enterprise, and then went on to register in 2019 as a self-help group. And along the way, through one of our members, is when we met Global Communities, who introduced us to the worker cooperative model, because we had no idea of the worker cooperative model. The only cooperative model that we used to know is the SACCO. So when we were introduced to this model, and through trainings and a lot of capacity building, we have been able to understand and adopt the model to fit our workers and our business. Yes, we are. We are currently 18 members in our cooperative, and all of them are workers. So the supervisory, some of the people who are in the supervisory board double up to be some of the people in the board, and also in leadership, because still we are still a young number, and we are still trying to adopt the model. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your response. So there's some few things I picked up, and one is that you are a cooperative doing recycling and waste management, and you are also a worker cooperative. So can you just tell us what is unique about your cooperative business?
First of all, as you can see, we are doing garbage. Garbage is something that not everybody can do, and not everybody is ready to get dirty. But we saw it as a business opportunity, since being as a youth, there are many challenges like lack of employment. So we saw garbage as a business for us, and also as a way of maintaining the environment, because there's so much litter in the world these days. When you go to like places like in Kisumu, there's so much pollution in rivers and lakes. So we saw it as an opportunity also to engage ourselves in programs like in environmental degradation. The second thing about the uniqueness of our business is that it is a major stakeholder in the country, because major companies are doing this garbage collection. It's not for small people, but we saw ourselves and as big people and started getting into the market. Yeah.
So how does the worker cooperative aspect work?
So in our garbage business, there are people who are loading there's a driver, the people who are driving, there are loaders, there are sweepers, there are cleaners. There are also people who are doing recycling in the recycling plant. We have a recycling plant in Langata where we recycle whatever you get from the garbage. We recycle plastics, cartons, metals. We're also doing rearing of livestock like pigs and chickens. Yeah.
I can also add to say that the worker model, how it works in our case, is that we pay our workers who are our members on a daily wage. but the members and the workers also pay the cooperative a monthly subscription of an amount of 500, and there is also a membership fee of 2,000 for new members. And before you join, you are given a probation period so that we can assess, the board can assess on your commitment to the work, because sometimes in these groups and formations, there are some people only come because people have very different interests. So before we admit someone into the cooperative, we have to gauge their commitment towards the work that we are doing. Yes, thank you.
Thank you for that response. And you individually, I've heard you are the chairman and you are the treasurer. How has being in Kigro impacted on your life? How has your life changed as a result of joining and becoming part of Kigro Recyclers?
First of all, when before you engage in this type of business, normally we saw the garbage business as a shun activity, and as in nobody can do it. But once we are in it, we started embracing the business and seeing it as it is fit for everyone. Anybody can do it. It's just that it concerns a lot of that. But it has changed my mentality. The way I associate with people also, it has changed me. The way, as a treasurer also, I've learned how to manage the money and how to manage the time and also how to manage the savings that we get from the job that we do. Yes.
On my part, I can say before we decided to regroup into a cooperative, we were doing the work as individuals. Now it has also given me a challenge and a leadership challenge, number one. Number two, I am a cooperator now. I belong to a cooperative, and we have embraced a cooperative model, and we are learning so many things from this new model that we have embraced. So for in my line of work, it has really also changed my mentality and on how I view things, because when we started, we used to view the garbage. Here in Kenya we call it takataka. Not many people like to associate themselves with this line of work, because it is mostly dealing with dirt and a lot of very not good things that people like to associate themselves with. But when we started the business, it really changed my mentality, and I saw it as 1 month's dirt is another month's maybe, how can I put it, riziki in Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just to say, this is an inspiration that as young people you could come together and decide to do waste management, and in the process improve the community. And I've understood that other than being you are workers, you work in the cooperative, and you're also members because you do the monthly contributions. And just because we have so many young people in this hall with us today, what would you tell them as young people about starting it off, and especially the worker cooperative model, or how can they start? Because I think the main issue is that for young people.
First of all, I can say that we have to be serious in whatever we are doing, and we have to have a goal and a vision to achieve what we want to get, because as we all hear, success doesn't come overnight. So you have to wake up yourself, you have to set your mind and your target and where you're going. Yeah.
Mine, because I can see in the room here, many of us are youth, and we are here. I know you have heard from this forum about the worker cooperative model. It's a very good model, and it's also it's not just about the cooperative. It's about the business also, because as Kigro we say, without the business that we are doing in garbage, there could be no cooperative. So my challenge to all of you youth here is to embrace this worker cooperative model. It's a new model, and it is a good model. Even ours is just a work in progress. We are not perfect, and we are not in line with everything, but we are slowly learning, and it is a business. Just take it as a business and then try to embrace the model. There are very many opportunities out here, and for us youth, we like quick things, but as my brother said, success does not come overnight. So I would just like to urge the youth to harness this opportunity of worker cooperative model, because it is a very good model that can really go a long way in helping their lives in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the two of you. I believe and hope that you will be an inspiration to our delegation, the people that are with us today. Before I finalize, I don't know if there is any burning question that you'd like to ask our two worker cooperators. Yes, so I will open the floor at this point. I have 1, 2, 3. 3 questions, yeah? So we can start from the back, huh?
Thank you. I think first is to appreciate you for the good job that you've done, and to see how you've turned the challenge to an opportunity. Now, my main question goes to you. How did you manage to turn around the situation during COVID-19 and post-COVID-19?
I would like to thank you for the quite good job you are doing. So my first question is on the gender composition of your cooperative. I don't believe that garbage is a male domain again, like the police. Although I objected to the justification from yesterday's presentation. And the other issue is that, you know, time is very nasty. Your organization, your cooperative is focusing on the youth, and soon you won't be part of the youth. Are you going to transcend or to leave the cooperative, or the cooperative is room for the middle age and the elderly? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to ask a question, but before I pose my question to our dear brothers from Kigro Recyclers, I just wanted to say a few words from my observation of the two presentations. Presentation, the first one, which was made, and the Kigro Recyclers presentation. Because the focus here is on the youth and how they can strike on these opportunities. Orapeleng did not say much about the opportunities that came up after he utilized, he only took an initiative of registering a cooperative society. But today, he's not thinking of getting employed as an IT specialist. He's actually engaged into matters relating to policy formulation. He's actually consulted by even the government. There are some of the decisions which cannot be made unless he's consulted, being part of the leadership, and this is a countrywide thing, and also being part of of the policy making process. So there are things which will come, talking of, now if anything is to be addressed in the Kenyan perspective about recycling and policy making in recycling, our Kigo brothers will have to find, there is no way you can skip them in terms of participation, in terms of their contribution to giving views as to what is expected. That means they are no longer to a cooperative level, but they are exploring opportunity at the highest level, most probably going to the national level, and as higher you go, the cooler it gets. That is the belief. Now, going now to the second part, which is my question. Recycling business, and especially, you see, like taking those, you call them takataka, we call them the same in where I come from, is a difficult job, and it is also precarious and poses some significant hazards to the workers, because one thing that a cooperative society has to do is to ensure that it is sustainable. To ensure that it is sustainable, it has to protect the life and health of its workers. Just curious, how have you managed to do that as Kigro recyclers? Thank you very much, and this is back to you, Honorable Moderator.
So, you can discuss who will. As they discuss how they are going to answer, I saw like we had something on the chat. Oh, we are good? Oh, there's someone online who has a question. Then with that, I think we will finalize when they answer. Yes, go ahead, Sam. You are speaking. I cannot get Sam.
Can you get me now?
1 minute.
Can you get me?
Yes, now you're good.
Okay, good afternoon, panelists and the members. Congratulations to the Kigro. I have seen your potential, and it's such a big.
Sam, maybe you can come closer to the microphone.
Okay, on maybe a question. Can you get me?
Yes, you're good.
Okay, a question to the Kigro guys. On the contribution that they make every month, that was 518, that will be 9,000. Do they invest it anywhere, or how do they use it? How do they utilize it? Then, have they thought of maybe, because the garbage is something wide, especially in Nairobi, have they thought to explore other areas, maybe getting contracts from the county government that maybe will come involved on the one that is existing, or NMS or something? But good work and congratulations, but they have given us something as the youth that challenges us from wherever we come from. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you for that. So I'll allow our people to answer.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, all of you, for the questions also. So I'm about to address the first question, which is for COVID-19 challenges. You see, when COVID-19 came last year, but I can say it didn't affect our business much because garbage is everywhere. Garbage is a recurring thing. Even if you throw out trash today, still tomorrow you're going to throw out trash. So it is something recurring. The challenges which we had is the places which we used to collect garbage, like in hotels and maybe clubs, those were the places which were affected at the most. They were forced to shut down. So in return, also on our side, there was no work for us in hotels and clubs, but on households and also companies, we are still working. So I can say that we are still working. Even when COVID-19 hit us, we are still working. But the challenge also was, we are seen as the, you know, when people were wearing their mask, and also the kids, we are the ones who are going to carry it. So some of the society members of the community also saw us as a threat to them. So we had to equip ourselves with masks and overalls, so that when we go to get the trash from the customer, also the customers see us, will see us as, will see ourselves in a protective gear. Also, and also we are trying to protect the customer because we are handling something that is environmental hazardous. So I can say the challenge was a lack of jobs in hotels, and also we had to gear up for the COVID-19 properly. The second question was in gender composition. Gender composition in our cooperative there, we both have the girls, the women, and the men. The women have small jobs like sweeping and cleaning services. We do services to offices and also to estates where we have many customers like sweeping, beautification. We also do beautification and loaning. So for small jobs like those ones, we leave them to the women. And hard jobs like loading of the trucks and also maybe sorting also, we leave it to the men. So when you go to the recycling point, they are men. And also when you go on the ground, there are people who are doing beautification and also sweeping and maintaining cleanliness. Life after the cooperative, as Zia said, usually we do trainings. When somebody comes into the cooperative, we first give them a training basis. Maybe it can be a 2-month training, depending on the area which he or she wants to go. And also, when there are workshops, we come with some of the members. You don't have to be an official to attend our workshop. So like a workshop like this one, you can come with one of the member. He or she sits also and acquires the knowledge from what you are going to learn today. So we can say that we also train our members when they get into the cooperative, so that if maybe one of us is not there, or in terms of future reference, there's also somebody who has been in there and who has been getting the knowledge through the workshops and also the trainings that we have been having. Yes.
I can also add on to what my brother said. As now, I'm the oldest in the cooperative, and time does not go back. We are getting old, and we cannot leave this idea because it is our idea. This is where I feed my family, and this is where my life is. So we are still recruiting new members. Also now we are just like the founders, but with the time the cooperative will grow. That is our plan. We plan to grow, and we plan to bring in on board more members, and also more work for the cooperative. When this will happen, maybe us will be in the board, because as I have said, some of us in the supervisory committee double up in the board and also in membership. So going forward, if we increase our numbers, maybe just to answer that question, there will be space for the older generation. Yes. Okay. And on the issue about the gender, the hazard and the health, the one that my brother has said. Okay, it is very hard to start up a business without even being funded. So that one is a really big challenge that I cannot lie to you that we have tackled it 100%. But we give our workers overalls and protective gear while they are going to collect, and while they are sorting, and while they are going to the dump site. We are also in the latter stages of making a plan where we will have health insurance for these members and workers, so that in any event that a worker gets sick from because the nature of our work is a lot of dirt and a lot of sometimes even the fumes that you get while sorting the waste. So in any event that someone gets sick, and we do get sick once or twice, but you know, you cannot leave the job because you are sick, because that is where you also get the money to go to hospital with. So we want to put our members in the NHIF program, so that maybe when they are sick they can go to hospital and maybe get some treatment through the cooperative. Thank you.
So thank you so much. Should we, maybe this is the part where the chair asks the floor whether we should continue with 2 more questions? Want to add more? So as he adds, maybe the lady, I've seen a lady for gender, and the chair is gender sensitive.
Okay, my question is, you've said that you're the founders of the is it the agency? Now my question is, have you ever, okay, not the agency, I'm sorry, but you're the founders. So my question is that after you started the cooperative, did you at some time sit down and say, we should have started this other one? You sat and then you saw the challenges that you're facing, and then you sat and then thought we should have at least done this other one. So my question is, did you at any time sit down and think that we should have done this other thing apart from dealing with the one for the garbage? Yeah.
Thank you so much. So as you answer, you can just give us your final words.
Thank you again. I can say we didn't have any regrets as per se, because the nature of the business is a widespread thing. But first, we started as a garbage business. And then after working in the garbage business and knowing what goes around the garbage business, that's when we decided again to get into the recycling business. So you see, that's our second business from another business. And then when we are doing the recycling also, right now we're going into sanitary also. There's sanitary removal and things like those in the offices. So that's another third business. So I can say the garbage business is a wide business. It has no limit. Right now we are looking for the fourth opportunity in this business is in terms of how can the garbage produce electricity. How can we manage the garbage to produce electricity? That's the fourth business that we want to get into now. So I can say that what we are doing now is a widespread thing. It has no limitations. It will be there today, tomorrow, and forever. Thank you.
So you are parting short, eh?
Let my brother first speak, and then I can speak then. But I can answer one question which Mzee had questioned. It was about investment of money. It was about investment of money, and also on the screen we had another question about the dumping which is happening in Nairobi. For investment of money, the money which we get, first of all, we pay our laborers on our day-to-day basis, because many of them have challenges back at home. Many have families and responsibilities. So the money which we get after we pay them, we usually save, and also the requirements which we have to fulfill, like repairings of the truck, getting new licenses, also buying of overalls and gumboots. Things like those are dependent on us, since there are no funds. So the little you get, we save, and then come end of this month, you can say you can buy overalls. Come next month, you can buy a new set of tires. Come the other month, you can buy things like jembes, spades, brooms. So quite our investment, we put them in terms of tools and in terms of the materials needed in the work that we do.
Okay, to answer the young lady who has asked a question, the time that we thought that we could do another thing was when we were a self-help, and then we decided to be a worker cooperative. Why we decided that is because when we were self-help, members were coming in and just going out yani without even notice. Yani it was like a toilet. But now in the worker cooperative, why we saw the worker cooperative as a good model, it really benefits the members and the workers. The workers feel part and parcel of the business. So this person will give you maybe even 120% while working for you. Our ladies do our marketing, so they go out to look for customers for us. So if this worker also feels like she or he can be a shareholder and eventually an owner of the business, it is a plus for them, and they really give their all in the business. So that is why we saw that it is fit for us now to become a worker cooperative business and embrace this model, because it is beneficial to the business, to us as the members, and to also the workers. Someone can come as a worker and see that hapa kumbe naweza nunua hata shares kidogo nikifanya kazi hapa kidogo. That one will go a long way in helping him, her, or even the family in the latter, in the future. My parting shot, most of us here are young people, and we are in this forum. I hope you have not just come here ingia hapa ipite huku. Please try to harness this opportunity of the worker cooperative model, and let us just know that as youth, success does not come overnight. We have to work towards that success. And thank you for this platform.
Thank you, and a round of applause as our guests leave. Thank you. Asanteni sana, and feel free kindly to just interact with them. Any other clarifications you have, you can get from them directly. So we'd like to invite our next presenter. We'd like to invite our next presenter, John Njuguna. I have seen you, yeah. Welcome. John Njuguna is from Chipukizi Voice of Drama, which is also a worker cooperative in the entertainment industry, and I believe he will tell us more about that. He will be tackling the role of worker cooperatives in post-COVID-19 recovery.
Thank you. Yangu iko kwa kichwa, acha nifanye tu off-head. So good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm not a doctor, so sina presentation mingi sana. So for the non-Kenyans, karibuni sana. I'll use both English and Kiswahili so that we work together. So more of English, that is the case. I am John Njuguna, as she has said, and I am the founding chairman for Chipukizi VOD. VOD stands for Voice of Drama, a worker cooperative that is founded here in the university. So we started as a club, a drama club, then we advanced to a worker cooperative with the help of global communities. So I am just having a discussion on the role of worker cooperative in recovering the COVID-19 effect. So it's just a discussion using a case study of our cooperative. And before that, I want to mention the background of our cooperative, that we currently have a membership of about 45 members, out of which 25 are active members. The others are dormant. Dormant because they completed their studies and they are elsewhere. The 25 are around the university. We are gender sensitive. That means we are in a share of 60-40. That is a gender ratio. And we are 4 years old. We were registered back in 2017. So after Funditech, which is one of the worker cooperative in Kenya, we are second. And when we talk about a worker cooperative, basically is when not young people, workers or skilled people come together and decide to sell their skill out there. So for Chipukizi, it is a cooperative that is formed by people who are talented, and here I mean talent in form of art. We come together and then we decide to sell our art out there to the market. Purpose is we increase our bargaining power, and then number 2, we create an employment for ourselves. The presenter who was here before mentioned clearly that young people, of course, we graduate, we have a lot of knowledge, but when it comes to pesa or money, we don't have. So how then do we come together and form something that is valuable? The Bible says, hallelujah. The Bible says, when people are complaining to Moses, asking, hey, we are thirsty, how can we get water? God asked Moses, what do you have? And then Moses said he had a stick. Akaambiwa, use that stick to hit the rock and the water came out. My friend, do you know that verse? Yes. The same way we asked ourselves, what do we have, so that we stop complaining so much on what we can get. And we noticed that young people, majorly, they have talent. Everyone here seated, we have 1 or 2 talents. And if we can bring these talents together, then basically we can come out with something that can help us. And you heard from Kigro, yes, the young people, but they are family members. So they are providing to their families. And then if you have a young one, definitely, hata kujua kama you are young or not, you must provide for him or her. So the question was, do worker cooperatives really have that capacity or ability to recover or to bounce back to normalcy after COVID? You see, Chipukizi was registered in 2017. Just before we could get the momentum, COVID came in. And you see our business used to rely on the gathering of people, because we provide entertainment, of course, to the events like this. And number 2, our members, majorly, over 90%, were from the university. So 2 things happened. 1, the government cancelled all the social gatherings. That means we didn't have business. Number 2, the university also closed. So our members went back home. So we didn't have members. And number 2, we didn't have business. And then we were left there wondering what is the way forward. But in as much as these effects came, of course, we had positive effects of COVID-19. And I want to share them briefly. 1, being that it led to the adoption and establishment of stable digital services. And when I talk of digital service, is like digital marketing, production, and sale of our products and services online using YouTube and other Facebook and other social media, meetings, virtual meetings, gatherings that were happening virtually. We could try to think, how can we reach out virtually? Number 2, as a positive effect, it was an opportunity for a cooperative to be creative. Now that we were offering entertainment and social gatherings have been cancelled or suspended, what else can we offer? And that is when we came with an idea we can also train on cooperatives, especially with the young people on worker cooperative. And we started, by the way, we did a sample, and it was very good, and it resulted to something good, which will come out later. Then number 3 is members and cooperative itself got time to reflect on some of their business document, like the business plan. We did a review and thought, how else can we customize so that we become or remain relevant. Then number 4, we were also able to get an opportunity to do a SWOT analysis and see how are we faring on during COVID-19, before, during, and even after. And one day, in case a pandemic comes up, how can we navigate through? Of course, we had negative impacts, and one of them is cessation of cooperative activities and business. For us, I mentioned clearly how we were affected. Business was cancelled and membership was also distorted. Number two, there was effect of external factors. Here I mean economy. You see, some of our members used to benefit. They were comrades, and comrades, every time we have a gig or an opportunity to perform, they could get something in the pocket. But now they have been cancelled. Walikuwa nena nyumbani, and you could stay at home without even a single shilling. Very sad. And then number four, our members started focusing elsewhere. The energies and their interest for cooperative shifted, because if you are a student here in the university, then you you go home na kwenyu ni Lodwar. An example, we had a member from Lodwar. Lodwar hakuna network, hakuna internet. Lodwar hata maji ni balaa. Lodwar shida, yani up country kuna shida mingi sana. So you forget about the cooperative and you start focusing with what is there. Wengine walianza kunyoa, wengine wakaanza kubeba maji na punda. And that was a way to survive. So that way, it affected our cooperative a lot. But when I was reflecting on how can we recover, or how can we withstand such pandemic now and even in later, we thought of 3 or 4 things. One, cooperative still, especially our worker cooperative, it still remains a major component to withstanding the competition and remain relevant out here. An example of what Kigro shared here. If they still want to remain relevant in garbage collection, when two come together, they have more bargaining power. For Chipukizi, we have so many people out here offering entertainment services. So how then do we compete with them out there? And unless we come together, then it becomes difficult. Therefore, cooperative, in as much as it was affected as a recovery mechanism, it still remains a relevant body or a relevant component to withstanding competition from external forces. Number 2, I thought that it is with the high level of joblessness, any way you can get involved in the market, cooperative will still remains as a potential option to engage in and create income. Remember, a lady was mentioning there that many people are retrenched from the initial organizations, even bank sector and any other sector. Many people were retrenched and people lost job, and others are still graduating. So we still have a backlog of graduated who are not employed or do not have an income generating activity. So when we join the cooperative, we are still able to wake up and shake and move on very fast, unlike when you are alone. Number 3, I thought that COVID-19 was a good eye-opener. It served as a wake-up call to set our systems right and ensure our policies are in place. And as we stand, members are engaged in pursuing this, hence advance their careers and expert. You see, during the COVID, that is when we were able to come together with the help of partners like Global Communities and CUK, and identified or learned that our systems were not right. Initially, we used to do things kienyeji. Mary assist him. Kienyeji is shagarabagara. We used to do things just for the sake, but then we learned that it is good to have your systems correct or appropriate, and that way it assists us later. Even now, we are banking on that a lot. And if it is finances, bookkeeping, audits, everything that is expected in an organization, then we are practicing it. Therefore, if you are a member who have pursued a career in finance, we use you to do our financing, to do our books. And that way, you are able to advance your career or expert. If you've done marketing, then we engage you to help us do marketing or advertisement out there. So you benefit the cooperative, and as well, you still benefit yourself in that area. And then number 4, from COVID, we are able to learn that social media is a serious area where you can market your products and service. Initially, we didn't count social media as a serious platform. But now we know that even if another pandemic comes along, you can still bank on social media because you can reach to a wider market, unlike when you do it physically. Because initially if you do it physically, we could do up to the environs of Nairobi, but now you can go nationally and even international. By the way, there's a time we did a performance for ICA, International Cooperative Alliance, and another one, don't know which country, international from here. So that means social media has power, and we earned money from that performance. So we were able to learn that social media can help you reach out to a wider client, and also if you consider it serious, then the output is of course serious. So that is some of the action point or some of the areas we identified that can serve as a recovery technique or recovery mechanism. I want to mention something regarding Waka Cooperative now besides COVID as some of what are the benefits, opportunities for being a member of Waka Cooperative. I think one, we get exposure because you are able to link or to meet other people who are doing businesses that are in a Waka Cooperative model and learn from them, like what they are doing. Like we had 2 presentations, this one, and maybe you could have another one. And from those 4 presentations, you can learn that, yes, young people can come together and do a business perfectly. Number 2, it increases your network and your visibility out there, because when 2 or 3 are gathered, then the output is higher. However, it is not Jerusalem, because we have challenges within the Waka Cooperative, and I'm glad that we have some of the founding committee members here seated, and there is a lot of conflict. My brother said that we have so many brains within the Waka Cooperative, and you may end up arguing until you don't engage in a serious business, because everyone has his or her own way of doing things. So sometimes when you are meeting in a boardroom, you may argue because you have different views. Everyone thinks his or her way is right or correct than the other one, and then you end up arguing, because in a cooperative, hakuna boss ya mwingine, we are all equal. So nobody is the boss of the other one. Number 2, there is a lot of self-interest, personal interest within a cooperative. An example, if I'm in Chipukizi, today I'm the chair, and then I get a gig, sometimes I would be tempted to assess, can I bring this to the cooperative, or I use this as a personal opportunity. Chairman for Kigro may get a business opportunity to go and collect some garbage, and then he assesses, will this be good nipeleke kwa cooperative, or I use it as a personal business. So you get tempted. Sometimes you get a very good business opportunity, and you still weigh. You think this one can be better if I do it by my own. So we have a lot of interest, and also the other challenge is membership. People are recruited, and then they leave everyone. They serve wanajiangalilia kazi. Yani good English is they look at work. Hapana. They serve as audience instead of working. So you realize that they are just there, they are just existing. You are a member, yes, you want to benefit, to enjoy the dividend, but you are not working. So you find the board members are so much burdened. They are working so much, day and night, just to see the welfare of the cooperative. And those members will be the first one to benefit. And when it comes to complaining, they complain a lot. So that is a challenge that we have in every Waka Cooperative. They leave wanaachia kazi, the board members, and that way it becomes difficult. So I want to rest my case there, and thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. Now I'm opening for comments and questions. The first one is going to be one of our mentors, and also an illustrious expert on cooperatives, Tindis Tandi. She'll be the one to comment first. Can you give a mic? Okay.
Yeah, anyone with a question, just raise your hand so that we can just identify where you are.
Give her the mic.
Here behind that side. Those are 4 questions in the first round. Then we'll do another round.
Well, thank you, Chair, for volunteering me. Mine is really congratulations and thank you so much to John and the previous presenters. As they very well mentioned, they are our partner cooperatives at Global Communities. As they are pioneer worker cooperatives here in Kenya. They're all youth. And I really appreciate the honesty. They have articulated their experiences from an honest perspective. And it is indeed very challenging to start up a worker cooperative and to get to the extents and the limits they have. But I'm really grateful that they've been able to share that and also share the opportunities for youth in the worker cooperative business model. We're very grateful to work with both cooperatives, and for the USAID CLEAR program, we look forward to continuing our support, learning from them, because remember, we are a program, we are not worker cooperatives, so we are deriving a lot of lessons from what they are sharing today and using that information to shape our program design so that we know how can we support worker cooperatives. So from their experiences, we're able to include that through what we call collaboration, learning and adaptation approach from USAID to design programs that actually support youth who are getting into worker cooperatives here in Kenya. So asanteni sana.
Thank you very much. Now we can hear from our YSI coordinator, Ambassador Bisakaya.
Timothy.
Can you give your comments, please, before we go to the rest of the floor?
Thank you so much, Chair. And just looking around, these are young people doing amazing work. I've interacted with Mastermind, interacted with Chipukisi for a long time, and now I've interacted with a new one in the Waste Management arena. But there is one thing which is standing out, building a sustainable membership. Take case of Chipukisi, they started 45, they are 25. So we need to look at life after campus. Life after campus. Are we saying that now you came here for 2 years less for a diploma and you are a member for Chipukisi? After you finish, you leave Chipukisi. So you need to recruit someone to fill that cap. Then if you came for 4 years and you are finishing, are you going to remain as a member or you now leave that particular cap for Chipukisi? And I think even the chair himself is aware that chair was my classmate, the same year, different courses, and he knows this, that you always need to recruit someone to replace you, so that tomorrow when you get your finally you will want to leave. You need to make it so that you are, they are picking from you. I've interacted with Mastermind for a long time, and I have seen how they do it. They mentor someone to pick up. So we need to go in that direction. Yesterday, Prof was talking about entrepreneurship. I think we need to and because I'm with the entrepreneurship program that Chipukisi is running. So very important. Let's mentor young people to be part of this movement so that we are able to build a sustainable movement for us. And I think the worker cooperative space is our space. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Timothy. There was another hand that was raised.
Okay, thank you very much. First, let me congratulate Chipukizi for the work they've been doing. And I would like to say it has been a great work since they started. Now, my question is, because I'm a little bit worried when we have guys who are leaving they're finishing school, then they go out, and we realize that the market might not only be within the school. And now that you are doing art, market might be larger outside. And then once these guys leave, that's where you realize that most of them will want to do something on their own. So what plans do you have, or what measures have you put aside to ensure that if not accommodating those who are outside, then there is a way you are using those who have left to at least get something to run the cooperative and also to better the lives of those who are in that cooperative? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Allow me to call John to respond. Okay, do we still have another hand? Yes, at the back there.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I first of all have to commend a good job done by Chipukizi VOD. At least for once, we have one of the cooperative movement that is closer to comrades. So I was asking, like, which are these ways that we can use to mobilize most of our students to join this move? And the second one, is it only for students? Like, can we have a continuation that after we are done with campus, at least we can still be members of Chipukizi, even if we are outside, then we learn to grow together. The third one is, can we come up with ideas on how to mobilize the young people coming in campus and also help them join these moves so that at least we all gain together? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Don't worry, this is the first round of the questions. We are going to have the second round. So let us allow John to respond.
Okay, thank you, and thank you everyone who have asked a question. Number one, Chipukizi is a CUK students and alumni cooperative. That means you are eligible for membership if you are a student here or an alumni. And we have created room and opportunity for everyone to take part. Now, in terms of how do we ensure that there is continuity of our membership, we reviewed our bylaws, and in fact we are forwarding those amendments to the state department, to have two classes for membership, Class A and Class B, where Class A will constitute of students of the university. Those who come when they are recruited, until you complete your studies, you remain in Class A. Then Class B will have alumni, or people who have completed their studies. Now, each will have their role. Class A, they will participate in the cooperative activities, and that includes performances, anything, marketing, anything that cooperative does, that will be the role of Class A. And Class B will involve people who are out there, they are working, for instance, or they are engaged elsewhere. And their role basically will be to help in financing the cooperative activities and assist in governance, because of course we are assuming that they will have gained some experience. Now, in terms of how to mobilize our members, our new members, initially we used to hold open week here in the university. We have a tent here, and we mobilize or invite students who are interested. Remember, a membership in a cooperative is open and voluntary. Therefore, you must be willing to join. However, our cooperative is for talented people. So we have been narrowing it down, or restricting to those who are talented. But we were thinking the other day, we can still open it to anyone who is interested, because you may be passionate for art or entertainment, though you are not talented. So we will resume the open weeks where we can invite everyone at the desk. Na wanakuja, they register. And also during the orientation, during the orientation, the recruitment, admission, we can have our desk in the orientation, and then we invite new members. Now, everyone is eligible, whether you are here a student or an non-student, you finished an alumni, you still eligible for membership. In terms of mentoring young ones, of course we mentor, but remember, you can only be a trainee if you are willing. If you are not, then it will be a waste of energy. You must be willing, be close, be there, available for you to be trained or to be mentored to become a leader. I don't think I've left any other question.
Thank you very much, John. There was a hand at the back.
Thank you once again. I wanted to ask my brother Chipukizi about the challenge that he's facing his department in terms of content creation. In the world right now, there's a lot of content creation. People are creating content. Even people like 3 years old kids, they're creating content. So how is Chipukizi going to deal with that as a challenge? There's so much content creation. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. There was a hand at the middle there.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. My question goes to Mr. John. You have just said that every is allowed to come and register at your desk. So my question is, what are you doing to let them something good for them somewhere? Because a lot of comrades are inside here, yet they don't know that there is opportunity for them in this site. Yeah, that's my question.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have any other questions? Okay, I'll ask John to respond.
Once again, thank you so much. Yes, my brother, it's true that competition out here in terms of content creation is very, very high. And as a cooperative, we cannot operate in our own, so we are in the same space. But of course, if you have a solution and not a problem, the best way is to face it and see how you can become better. For us, in terms of content creation and pushing the content, we want to improve our quality so that we are able to compete out here, because everyone has content, but there are those elements that differentiate your content from the other. And one is the quality of your content. Then number 2, your consistency, because that is what has been affecting us initially. You have content today, then tomorrow you don't have, the other day, the next time you produce content, people have forgotten about you. So we want to emphasize a lot on consistency of our production, and then number 2, improve on our quality. Again, we don't want to major into entertainment as a main activity, because we noticed that entertainment, it takes time for it to reward. So we are having other ideas like training. We want to engage in marketing. We want to engage in other arts beside content creation, so that we increase, we widen our operations, so that we have so many activities happening at the same time, so that we don't have some members remain dormant. What are we doing to ensure that people know we exist? One, of course, we wanted to use our social media very well and publicize our cooperative and the activities that we are doing, and to ensure it reaches everyone. So we do anything on the social media to see that people get to hear about Chipukizi. And of course, like I mentioned, when we have those desks here, When people visit, of course, we let them know. We entice it until akienda huku nje, they tell their colleagues. So those 2 ways will help a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Njuguna. I think we can give him a round of applause. We have had quite a number of inspiring young people with us today. And I think my plea would be for the comrades here with us to just ensure you do not leave this conference the same way you came in. Whatever you got, hold on to it. Whatever words of motivation or inspiration or learning, because a conference is about, when you see here Prof. Mohammed or any other seniors, when you see anyone coming here to say something, just take what you can and apply it in your own way. Yes, so just to comment on what Njuguna said, the voice of drama, within the university, other than being a lecturer, I double up as the music, choir, and drama coordinator. So in case you have any interests in that area, to act, to sing, or basically spoken word, yes, other than growing academically, you should also grow in a wholesome kind of manner. Yes, so that is that. For now, from the schedule, you can see we are Young Scholars Initiative. And it would not be right if I fail to invite someone from the Young Scholars Initiative to just give us a brief about what the Young Scholars Initiative is. I am a member. I am an organizer in the Young Scholars Initiative, and this is our 4th workshop, meaning we've done 3 of this before, and we've always done them in partnership with the university and with global communities. So, Timothy, I think you can talk to your people a bit.
Thank you so much, Mary. And I'm also reassigning the same duty to Dr. Teres Musorewa. And surprisingly, Dr. Teres is Dr. Teres Emeritus, the coordinator emeritus, because I'm now taking over his role as the coordinator. Doc, welcome.
Thank you very much, Timothy. Thank you all for coming for this YSI session. Like he was rightly saying, it's time for me to leave. And Shadrach and Timothy are here to replace me. I think one of the longest serving coordinator, because when I started, there was no constitution, and now we have a constitution which governs your tenure, which is a time frame of about 2 years. So I'm leaving. But anyway, just an overview of those who do not know YSI. It's an initiative of young scholars who are to tackle new economic challenges across the globe. We work in a number of working groups. We have 20, how many? 21 of them. And the cooperative working group is one of them. The good thing about the cooperative working group, for us, it has been dominated by Africans. I don't want to be regionalist or so. We are open to everyone across the regions. But probably because we are cooperators by nature, that's why most of us are interested in this working group. So I presume that we have some of us who haven't joined us officially. If you can go on your Google engine, and then you just type YSI directory. From there, you'll be asked for some details for you to create an account. And from there, you'll be receiving newsletters, I mean, for opportunities to network with others, because we network through some events and functions, some face-to-face, some are online. But the gist of the concept is for us to create a bigger network so that we can share our experience for the betterment of academics and practice in cooperative. So, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Terence. Maybe to emphasize what you are saying, we are a community of about 18,857 students, young professionals, and also young professors. So the community is open to anyone. If you haven't joined, please join. You simply sign up on the website. And also, feel free to recruit others. As soon as you join the community, you enjoy the same privileges as the old members. And I'm also happy. I will take this opportunity to thank Terence Muzorewa. He has been a coordinator for a very long time. Now, he is leaving a vacancy that will be difficult to replace, or that will be difficult to fill in. So at the moment, it will be myself and then Timothy. So we will be waiting for another coordinator to replace Muzorewa. Having said that, thank you very much. I will take this opportunity to give time to Prof to guide us.
A big thank you and a hand clap for the presenters. Already invited everybody in. We are just about to do a very brief closing ceremony. Very brief. I don't see it going beyond 15 minutes. I have already invited Professor Nyamongo, the DVC, in charge of cooperative development, research, and innovation division of the university, who is going to be our guest of honor in this closing ceremony. And as I have indicated, it will be very brief. Very shortly, we are starting. 5 minutes or so, we should be starting. And in the next 15 or so minutes, we should be concluding.
Yes. So as we wait for the closing ceremony to start, I realized I did not introduce myself when we began. It's just good to get to know each other. Yeah, so I am Mary Mbogwa, and first of all, I'm an alumni of the Cooperative University of Kenya. I finished my bachelor's in 2016 and decided to join the teaching arm of the university. That's when I became a lecturer. And just some advice to my students. I've been on the other side quite a long time, and this is a very good networking opportunity. I remember in 2019, we had, not 2019, 2018 or 19, we had this conference and we had the young scholars coming in. That time it was Terence and Shadrach. And I just had an opportunity to talk to them, and they told me about the Young Scholars Initiative. It's basically for young people who are interested in research, and you get to grow with it and travel the world. I've visited quite a number of countries as courtesy of Young Scholars. And the key thing is whatever you get to do, my parting shot to the young people who are here, whatever you get to do, do it with all your heart. Sawa sawa. Kama it is finance, it is teaching, it is drama, because I have my drama people at the back. I'm happy you're not only in drama, you are also coming to conferences. So always aim at being a wholesome person and working hard. So, and smart, not hard, smart. You need to be smart in this life. Yes, so thank you, and Kim. So Prof will take it over from here, so enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. A big hand clap for Mary. Members, ladies and gentlemen, delegates who are here in the hall, those following us online and on YouTube. We have had 2 great days of engagement, and we really appreciate the contribution each one of us has made. So we are now coming to the end of, Mary, we are now coming to the end of the 2-day conference. But before probably I come to allow members here, 1 or 2 to make a comment, then the DVC. I want to let us know that the Cooperative University of Kenya is a premier institution in this country, in the East African region, and in Africa that offers trainings in matters related to cooperatives. We also serve in a consultancy in the region. We have engagement with Uganda. We have our brothers here from Tanzania. We engage in Rwanda. We have had activities in Rwanda. We have activities in Nigeria, Botswana, down there, Sudan, and we are happy every time when we get an opportunity to engage. We appreciate the people we work with from different countries in Africa. We offer academic courses, but we also offer short courses, and we have a range of courses, short courses that we offer. One of them that is the newest is the worker cooperatives. We have been engaging on matters worker cooperatives, and we have a short course around that. This course was developed jointly between the Cooperative University of Kenya and DAWI, Democracy at Work Institute in United States of America. It's flexible. We can always see what mode to take. It's available. We can do it virtually, but we can also have it residence or physical here or in any other parts of the country. This course has 12 modules. I don't want to go through the modules, but generally issues about what worker cooperatives are, worker cooperatives as democratic space, workplace, member compensation, things that have come up very many times within this conference. They are a part of the curriculum, personnel systems, communication for managing conflict, making meetings work, popular education for members, introduction to open book management, open book management critical number, financial statement storytelling, member rights and responsibilities, and board best practices, effective decision making, among others. And we appreciate global communities whom we have worked with around that. We have so far offered this course to the faculty in the university. Through that, we have therefore prepared a pool of trainers able to deliver this course very effectively to various target groups. We have so far also run it as a short course targeting our students in the university, meaning that we are piloting it again and again until we are very sure. We will have another short course for students in February and March next year. And thereafter, we are ready to roll out the course for general consumption in the country and in the region. So we invite you to be part of this. We want to get people who will get trained in this and become the advocates of the same in their countries. Lastly, from me, I said it has been very good interacting with you in this conference. We will have certificates issued for participation. Now, I know we are here, some of us may not have registered online. Please do that. Register online. Why? Because once this conference is over, tomorrow or some 2 days thereafter, we will send to you a link that will enable you to generate a certificate of participation from your end. And that will only be possible if you are registered online. So do not fail to do that. Even if you are here physically, ensure that you register online through a link that was provided so that we are able to have a database upon which will quickly generate certificates for us. Now, I want to take this to invite 2 persons to make some remarks. I will first of all ask the young scholars representative just 1 minute of a comment.
Thank you so much, Prof. I think it has been 4 years of great experience with the Cooperative University of Kenya, and all along I've been referred to as the young scholars. I want to recognize and actually to tell the audience that I'm not just a young scholar. I'm an alumni of the university, and I'm currently also a postgraduate student at the university. And I also assist the university in one way or the other here and there, both teaching and research activities. So, Prof, it has been 4 great years, and we are hoping to be part of the 7th annual conference. And my people are telling me that they have really enjoyed this place, and they are looking forward to be here again physically in 2023. So, Prof, I don't have much to say, but just to say thank you so much for continuously according the young people an opportunity to be mentored and an opportunity to interact with the senior scholars around the continent. I've heard Prof talking about online arrangements, and our coordinator emeritus said that and showed you how you can get to access the YSI directory. We are having an event coming up on the 1st of August to the 5th called the UNCTAD Summer School, where we want to look at the current challenges facing the world, what are the new trade policies that the United Nations is suggesting, and how can the young policymakers, young researchers actually play a role towards the economic recovery as we are currently emerging from the pandemic. So thank you so much, and I'm hoping that next year, a time like this, we will be together. Thank you so much.
Clap for Timothy. And he says that next year, 2023, we'll be here physically, and we really appreciate that, Timothy. May I invite Tindi from Global Communities to take 1-2 minutes to make a comment.
Sure. Thank you so much, Prof. I want to thank the organizers for the 6th Annual Cooperatives University Conference for inviting us as participants. I think we've participated across the years, and we've seen the value that such a conference brings to us as development practitioners, but also to the participants that we bring on board. I speak on behalf of Global Communities USAID CLEAR program team. They've been with us. Some of them have stepped out, but I still have my colleagues represented here. But we've also come as a delegation of 40, so 10 of our team, but also 30 of our young worker cooperatives practitioners that we currently work with that were very excited to join in this conference and learn from the Young Scholars Initiative, but also from the CUK and the guests that were invited here. So we are very grateful for this opportunity. I thank the sponsors who have come on board. And I just want to say that our goal and objectives for participating in this conference were to advocate and speak about the worker cooperatives business model. As you have seen from this afternoon session, there are youth that are already engaging in this model, but they've spoken about the challenges and the opportunities that are there. And so we are putting out a call to all the participants, all the sponsors that are here today, the youth that are here today, to pay close attention, because in the next couple of months, couple of years, we'll really be drumming up support, advocacy around this particular worker cooperative business model. We believe that this is the way to go. We really want to thank the Cooperative University of Kenya for partnering with us in this initiative. I hope I'm not leaving anybody out, but I think those are my remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. Please let us clap for Tindi. And our guest of honor for this closing ceremony, our DVC, we have had a big participation. On each day, we have had participants here, not less than 180 on each day. That is big. We have had at every time on the minimum 8 participants following us online, and I will ask them to have their videos on for this short session. I will be very happy. Participants online, kindly your videos on. We really appreciate to see your faces. Thank you. And again, at every time, sir, we have had more than 100 following us through YouTube. So it has been big, and we really appreciate We are growing every year, and we are so proud of this. Now, lastly, may I invite our registrar, Dr. Lydia Mutua, to make a comment or two, and thereafter invite DVC Professor Isaac Nyamongo to make his remarks and officially close the conference. Dr. please. And we clap for her as she comes.
Thank you very much, Prof. Participants, how was it? The 2 days, how was it? We can only get the feedback from you. How was it? It was wonderful, isn't it? Very nice. It would have been very unfortunate for us to prepare for the conference and you do not turn up. So we highly appreciate you, our visitors from the African region. We highly appreciate you, our senior professor. Thank you very much for coming. We know that it may not have been very perfect. The meals were served a bit late, isn't it? Yesterday we had tea a bit late, today it was also late, but I'm sure our objective was met. We came here to learn and also to share. I am sure you will go with something. You must have picked something from the 2 days. And we request that you go out there and share it. They say that knowledge is the only thing you can share without losing anything. So we really, really appreciate you. So what I would say is that for the 2 days you have been here, if there is anywhere you may have felt uncomfortable, please leave it here, because we want you to come again next year, isn't it? Our visitors from the outside Kenya, we also request that you invite us. When you have events like these ones, you invite us, we'll be willing to come. In addition to the short course that the professor talked about, we also have all our programs online. We have PhD programs, we have master's programs, they are all online. You can look at our website, you see what is available at the university. So with those few remarks, I would like to invite the DVC professor to come and give his remarks. So thank you very much.
Yes, good afternoon again. Yeah, I think we all agree that we have had a successful 2-day engagement since we started yesterday. And I was in briefly in the morning. Many of you were saying that they did not know that I was here. Yes, I was here. And if I hadn't asked a question, maybe you wouldn't have known that I was here. But I've also been watching online. There is Ora Paleng. Yes. I was watching online, and I really want to talk to you about what you are saying, because the last 2 weeks, even this morning, I was asking myself, how do we get more youth into farming? I remember I asked in the morning a question about involving youth in farming. About 2 weeks ago, I wrote about this, and hopefully next week on Tuesday, I'm actually writing about it again, and that's why I would like to talk to you about it. You know, strategies that we can use to bring youth into farming. And that's, for me, why this conference is important, because it's not just about those who have been here for a while talking to themselves, but also us. Even the flowers are beginning to fall, so I think yeah, it's about us, you know, influencing the next generation. I said in the morning that I get worried when I look at the statistics about farmers, not just for Kenya, even across the continent. The average age of a farmer is in the 60s. It simply means that we have people who are growing old, their energies, they're becoming frail, they may not be able to do as much as they used to do. We are talking about climate change that is causing havoc on our farmlands. And unless we bring in the youth into our agricultural value chains and involve them in what we do so that they can bring in technology, they can bring in all the science that they have learned in school. As I said in the morning, we are ending up becoming a continent that is a net food importer. And that's not good for our food security. And that's why the conference we've had, on social and solidarity economy, comes in to, I think for us, create an opportunity for the young entrepreneurs or corpreneurs, as some of you may want to call them, to get into this space through, for example, the worker cooperatives, that we have talked about since yesterday. The commissioner himself was here yesterday, Commissioner of Cooperatives, and they talked about it and the support that they are giving as the State Department of Cooperatives. And we are going to follow up on that, just to ensure that we entrench it. And Tindi Sitati is here, global communities were here and from yesterday, today, and they have provided resources for us to be able to work on the modalities to create an environment that is conducive for the worker cooperatives to be recognized in terms of the bylaws, in terms of other regulatory frameworks that operate in this country. So this is something that comes in handy, and we would like to strengthen this area as one of the key areas of the cooperative movement in this country. There are others. The young people who deal with, what was it? Waste what? No, that's not the time. They did not talk about management. What do they call themselves? No, they don't call themselves recyclers. Garbage what? Collector. I think that's the term they were using. And I was listening in the office and said, are they just collecting, or if we brought management into what they call themselves, then that opens up their horizons. It opens up many other things. Then they can bring in energy. They talked about energy. A couple of months ago, I wrote about use of garbage for energy generation. And then I was talking about if you go to Ukulima Market, that the amount of garbage that is generated in that market. You go to Kongowea Market in Mombasa, or is it Kiboswa Market in Kisumu, or is it Darajambile Market in Kisii? The amount of garbage that is generated, that can go into energy generation. And then I was talking about, energy cooperatives. But you have a youth group that has come up that is looking at, managing the environment in terms of, ensuring that the environment is clean. But out of that, we can generate energy that can be sold. whether it is gas from the energy that is, or whether you're using that gas to actually generate electricity. Now, think of the added value to the environment. You're looking at a clean environment. You're looking at, reducing the area that is under, where do we take our garbage in Nairobi? Dandora, yes. You drive near Dandora, the smell that comes out of there. So think about, if we were able to utilize all that in, generating energy, then we'll have less of garbage mounds in places like Dandora. So there are a lot of opportunities that, cooperatives can come in and, do something, not just for the sake of the environment, but also, not just for the sake of uplifting their own lives and well-being, but also in terms of, putting or reducing the carbon footprint that we all talk about. So I think for me then, a conference like this creates an opportunity for not just the scholars to come and exchange ideas, but also for the scholars to talk to practitioners and the policymakers. Because unless the three are able to talk and exchange ideas, we may just be talking on, as it were, the ivory tower. And people in universities, scholars, have always been accused of having these grand ideas up there on the ivory tower, talking about theories, but those theories really don't do what? You can't see them where the rubber meets the road. And I think for us, coming together as scholars, exchanging with policymakers and practitioners, then we bring all those challenges on the same table and discuss and look at them and find common solutions to those challenges. So we are looking forward to the proceedings from this meeting. I think the organizers, the chair is here. So I'm looking at us getting a report very soon and conference proceedings. I'm sure some of the best papers will go into our 2 journals, but that is something we want to leave for the experts. It's not up to the conference committee to decide which paper goes where. I think there are experts, subject experts, who will look at all the papers that have been presented here today, and then they will decide which paper goes where. But what we can assure you is that whether the paper goes into the one of the 2 journals or the conference proceedings, the papers will be captured and documented in one way or the other. Looking forward, I don't know what date it's going to be, but I suspect the next conference will be held next year, unless there is another COVID that is going to disrupt the systems. Remember, this conference used to be in March, and then COVID happened. We moved it to July. Yeah, so the last Tuesday and Wednesday of the month of July. I think it's easier for me just to say that instead of giving the exact date. Just know that it's the last Tuesday and last Wednesday of the month of July next year and going forward. I think for me, with these few remarks, I would like to appreciate all the presenters, the organizing committee, headed by Professor Wycliffe Oboka, and the other members are here. The registrar, CDRI, who is here. There are others who are not here. Mayo, Silas, Yes, Silas is here. Yes, from the office. And David Kwame. Kwame is not here. Penrose Mburia. You know, I want to recognize these people because they are the ones who actually do the work. Yeah. And as I said yesterday, without them, I become dysfunctional. So they are a very important cog in the wheel that is CDRI. So I really want to recognize them and thank them for the work that they put into making sure that everything runs smoothly at the division. With these few remarks, then, I would like to now officially bring this meeting to a close. I think we all deserve a clap. Thank you. Yeah.
One more clap for Professor. And a big thank you, Prof, for the guidance through the process that makes this kind of event to turn out the way it has been. We really appreciate your guidance. And God has been good, God has been gracious, has kept us here for the 2 days. We have not fallen sick. We have not been called back home because there's a problem. We started by asking him to be with us and has been with us. So it's only good that we do the same as we close. I want to ask Dr. Lucy Kiganane to close for us. Clap for her as she comes.
Good afternoon. We really thank God for having given us an opportunity to have 2 productive days in the world of academia, and this goes to record. I know we have learned a lot and we give honor and glory to God. So I wish to just read one verse from Psalms 118, verse 23, which says, "This is the doing of the Lord, and it is marvelous in our eyes." The Lord has done it for us, and we give honor and glory to his name. So let us all be upstanding as we pray. Our Father and our God, we thank you this afternoon for who you have been to us. We committed this conference in your hands right from the beginning, the planning stage. We called upon you many times that you will guide us, you will lead us, you will order our thoughts and command our steps. We thank you that you have done this. We appreciate that you gave us people who have presented in this conference. We thank you for our keynote presenters. We thank you for every guest that found time to be with us here. We command a blessing upon each and every one of them. We thank you, Jehovah God, for all the participants, both international and local, and ourselves who are in this hall. We appreciate that you gave us the opportunity to learn. We know that learning is continuous, and therefore we are not leaving this place the same as we came in, because you have given us an opportunity to be impacted. So we give you honor, we give you glory. And now, dear Lord, as we disperse, there are those who are going to travel, there are those who are flying back to their countries. We commend them in your hands, and we pray for safety, that you will watch over them. We thank you even for those who are traveling, and even for us as we go back to our places of residence, that you will be with us. Bless us now, be with us, and give us yet another opportunity to interact for the honor and the glory of your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And now may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. You are all blessed.
Asante sana. Members, we meet next year almost at the same time. And I invite us for lunch, where we had lunch yesterday. Please do come and let us enjoy the lunch. And as you travel back, journey mercies. So, karibu sana lunch.